Hi everyone, my name is Deborah and welcome to the Edit by DH. Welcome to another video. I know it has been such a long time since my last video. As you guys know, if you've been following me, I recently moved to Singapore from the UK and it has been a journey and a half, I can't tell you. I have been sick twice in the month. I have moved, not only country, but I've had to move twice in the space of a month, so from London to Singapore to a hotel, whilst I then found an apartment, and then I had to move again to the apartment once I found it. So I've moved 3 times, so that's why the review has been so late. Obviously I'm going to be reviewing Lisa's new launches. Well, they're not so new now, but it's still her latest launch, which is the skin tint, enhancing skin tint, and the Sculpt and Shade lip pencils. So I have a full face, or almost full face, of Lisa on right now. If you're interested in seeing how I created the look, seeing what products I use, especially what shades, then please do continue to watch. Everything will be linked down in the description bar below, including what I've used, including products that aren't Lisa's, including what I'm wearing jewelry wise. And also I will be adding timestamps in the description bar, which I do with almost every video. I just don't do it physically where you can click and move on to the next bit, but I do add timestamps, just FYI, in the description bar. And just FYI, I do use affiliation links as well. I've said this before, but I haven't said it in a while. I haven't filmed in a while, but yeah, I do use affiliation links, and that just means that if you are interested in purchasing anything as a result of watching this review, then if you could just kindly purchase a product using my affiliation links, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it just means that I get a small commission off of the back of that sale. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this look and my thoughts, my very honest thoughts on this launch, then please continue to watch. So first, it just seems appropriate to just start with the tinted moisturizer, because I have a clear base and my face is desperate for makeup. I need to cover up all these spots. It's just from traveling, from being tired, from being sick, etc. And actually it's a good trick to see, just like, or a good test, should I say, to see like how much this tint will cover up my skin. So I got the skin enhancing tint in color T3. Now, I did it based upon just looking at the shades online, looking at the models. I never go on counter when there's new launches for any brand with like skin tints or foundations. I never go on counter, because normally 9 times out of 10 when I look online, I generally get it right. However, on this one occasion, I got it wrong. So you'll see it will work. It will definitely work for my skin, and I have been using it every day. So it does work. It's just that if I wanted the correct shade, or the perfect shade, should I say, I should have gone a little bit warmer. So now in hindsight, although I have T3, I should have perhaps gone for between a T4 and a T6, but T6 warmest. So just as a heads up, so it's slightly paler. The skin enhancing tint, just to say, it says it's a fresh, luminous and light coverage tint in a feel-good formula made of 78% skincare ingredients for replenished, healthy and plumped looking skin. There are 18 shades and they're all in a neutral, like a neutral undertone, should I say. But Lisa mentioned that she does have neutral goldens, neutral olive tones. And the reason why is she didn't want the skin tint to be orangey, tan, like some brands make, or like some brands encourage. You know, you can always warm up your skin with a bronzer, and she just wanted sort of like skin true shades, hence why she stuck to a neutral undertone. The unique hybrid formula of the enhancing skin tint works to seamlessly even tone, lift shadows, tone down redness and boost luminosity. Think your skin, but on its best day. The ultra lightweight texture delivers a burst of hydration while simultaneously delivering blurring pigments to perfect and even the skin tone. Skin is soothed, smoothed and strengthened, the 3 S's. The tone perfecting crease proof formula means it also works like a dream under the eyes. Hero ingredients include glycerin, which is the gold standard of moisturizing ingredients, prickly pear seed oil. It's a superhero ingredient which is packed with vitamin E and K, as well as omega fatty acids, offering deep plumping hydration, anti-inflammatory, potent antioxidant properties, strengthening skin resilience while imparting a brightening effect for a luminous complexion. It has sunflower seed oil rich in linoleic acid, which is an active ingredient, plumps and replenishes your skin whilst calming and hydrating. Squalane, naturally derived emollient, mimicking the structure of squalane naturally found in your skin, and so on and so forth. It's got no fragrance, alcohol, no essential oils, mineral oils, talc, parabens, microplastics, PFAs or gluten. Is vegan and cruelty free. I believe it's also dermatologist tested as well. So she said that you must shake in order to just have all the ingredients mixed. Lisa said that she uses 2 drops and then uses her fingers, but you can use a brush, or the fingers is preferable. It's a sheer coverage, but you can build it up if you need to. And obviously, like it said, you can use it as a concealer. It's crease proof, it freshens and corrects under the eyes. If you have concerns with dark circles, then you will need more coverage, as an FYI. It's in this shape, but it flattens, so it just sits comfortably on the table and doesn't spin. I like it because it's really lightweight, so it's very travel friendly, it's handbag friendly should you wish to carry it around, fits nicely in the palm of your hands, and it's in a nice little squeezy bottle as well, so it helps you to sort of distribute properly. So I just like to go in with about that much. I've already got my skincare on, which right now is serum and SPF. In the UK, I would need way more than that, but as you know, I'm in Singapore and the weather is constantly hot and humid, so skincare, I don't need a lot. So I like to use this with my finger, and as you can see, it looks a bit pale, so it is definitely lighter than my natural skin tone, just as an FYI. And I just like to sort of go into the center of my face first, because that's where I have the most redness and pigmentation. At some point I'm going to need a mirror, but right now I'm just using the phone screen as a mirror. Just kind of want to show you guys how it looks. I squeeze like maybe under 2 drops, 1.5 say, and as you can see, I've just done like sort of this side of my face, and already it's giving coverage. Even though it's still light, it still looks natural. It feels like there's absolutely nothing on the face. It has given coverage. So now I'm going to go on this side and just even things out. I don't apply any to my forehead because I find like my forehead, the skin is fine there. It's not very red. It's generally like quite even skin tone. And I will end up adding some warmth with a bronzer anyway. So I feel like it's pointless adding makeup to that section. And then where I have sort of dryness around my mouth and a bit more texture, I just tend to pat the makeup onto that area so that it doesn't become more texturized or become patchy. So this is sort of like one light layer. And again, I'd be happy to go to my local shops with this base of makeup. Obviously, I'll add a little bit of bronzer and blush, but otherwise I'm happy with this coverage. However, say if I wanted a little bit more and I don't want to use my concealer per se, then I'll just go in with a little bit more into the areas that I need a bit more coverage and just tap it on, because I feel like that way it just gives me more coverage. And I added a bit more where my spot was, and it's actually done quite a nice job of covering up. So you can see it's definitely buildable. So you can probably tell now that it's a tad pale for me. So that's why I was saying earlier that I think if I want the perfect color for my skin, I think between shade 4, 5, 6 would be good for me, maybe 5. Apparently Lisa's a shade 11 in the foundation and she uses a 6, but I haven't used it in a while. I think I was between a 5 and a 7. I might have been a 7. So I think tint wise, maybe 5 would work well for me, maybe 6 darkest. But yeah, I didn't have time to swatch it. That's why another reason why I couldn't get an accurate color match. So again, this on its own would be perfectly fine. I'm quite happy with the coverage. It feels so lightweight on the skin. Honestly, like I can't even feel that I've got anything on my face. And I could easily just go with a bronzer and blush after this, but where I am going out, and I don't mean to like a club or anything like that, I'm far too old for that. I mean when I'm, you know, having a nice day out and I want to perhaps make a little bit more effort and perhaps like a little bit more flawless, I could go in with my powder foundation, my love, which is the one from 𝕊𝕦𝕓𝕤𝕐. You guys, if you've been following me for a while, you know I absolutely love that powder. And on that note, I would love to see a powder foundation from Lisa. Maybe even a setting powder as well, but that's by the by. However, Otherwise, because I'm in a hot country, I feel like creamy, liquidy kind of makeup formulas work well for me in this weather. And I absolutely love the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. So until Lisa brings out her own concealer, which I know many of us are dying for, we would love to see a concealer release, and I am sure it's on the way at some point. But until then, I will be using another brand. So I am using the Natasha Denona, which my friend, she just made me fall in love with this. She gifted me the High Glam Concealer and gave me a few colors. I like to use N1, Neutral 1 for my under eyes just to brighten it up, but N2 for my skin. And N2 is slightly warmer than this T3 skin tint, if that makes any sense at all. So again, I only use it where I want a little bit more help with coverage. So I mean, you guys can move on to the pencil part. You can fast forward, I won't be offended. I'll have timestamps down in the description bar, which I mentioned earlier. Otherwise, if you want to see how I sort of like finish up the makeup, then please do continue to watch and stay with me. So the N1 is what I use underneath. This is the High Glam Concealer. I just literally use a tiny bit under my eyes. And what I like to do is just sort of blend this in first before I go on to the N2. So I am using the Ray Morris brush, and I just sort of tap it in. I mean, to be honest, I use different brushes, but this just happens to be clean. And I like to just like use the remaining product on my cheek area as well. There's no harm, just gives extra coverage. So you can see it's already brightened up the eye area. And then I just use my finger just to warm up the area and make sure it blends in nicely. Then I go in with my N2, which is a slightly warmer shade. And I just like to put it on my cheeks and places where I have a little bit more redness seeping through. Tiny bit there on my nose and on my side of my face. I know that looks like a lot, but it was just one plonk. I don't know what you want to call it. Then I love to use the Rare Beauty brush. It's so soft. And I just sort of dab it. And I do use my fingers as well, by the way. Hopefully you can see it just looks a lot more flawless and polished. Normally my neck and my face are generally the same color, but right now my neck looks a little bit warmer. So I do definitely want to make my face warmer. So I'm just going to go in with a 𝕊𝕠𝕟. It's a Korean contour blending thing. I'll have everything linked down below. And I'm going in with a Beauty Pie all over powder brush, but again, I'll link everything down below. And this is just so that I can warm up my face a bit and give it some contour at the same time and get rid of those quadruple chins. I generally like cooler toned things for the contouring of the face because, oh gosh, no matter how great your contouring skills are, if the product comes out orangey, it doesn't look great. So, and in terms of how the tint wears and things like that, I will obviously give you my thoughts at the end, because like I said, I have been wearing it every day for a little while now, so I can definitely give you my thoughts and feelings on the longevity and how it lasts, especially in a humid country, how it wears all day. And what I like to do is go back in with another brush, which is the Patrick Ta Pro Contour brush. And even though it's for the cream, I believe, I like to use it for powder, and I just swirl it into all the colors again. And I use it specifically for contour to give a bit more definition and vavavoom. I still love the Kevyn Aucoin contouring powder, but what I will say is the last two occasions I used that, the sculpting powder in light, the case keeps breaking. So I think they have a batch or whole production of faulty cases where it doesn't properly click, and it's really annoying when you have it in a makeup bag and the powder then smashes and goes everywhere. So that's not fun. So that should hopefully give you a more of a contoured look. Then two more things to just finish up the face before I go on to the lip pencils, which I promise is coming. I then like to use the 𝕊𝕠𝕚𝕐 cream blush. And by the way, I have actually filmed a 𝕊𝕠𝕚𝕐 makeup review. I just haven't had time to upload it, or edit it in fact. So that is coming. So it's going to be weird because it's going to be in a different order. I'll be talking about my move to Singapore after I've done this video, which I'm already in Singapore. So please bear with me, but trust me, it's been a whole process. This last 4 or 5 months now has felt like a whole year. So please just bear with. So I'm just going to pop some cream blush onto the apples of my cheeks. I cannot wait for Lisa to bring out her cream blushes or whatever she's going to bring out. I mean, I know people have been begging for it, and I did have the old formula, which was nice, but yeah, there were some challenges with squeezing out the product, etc. So I will be really interested to see like how she brings it out and what packaging it'll be in, shades, whether it'll be the same, whether she'll add new shades, etc. So that's a little bit of that blush, which just adds a bit of color. Again, I will link everything down below. After all, this is not a 𝕊𝕦𝕚𝕚𝕚 or Natasha Denona review. And then I have recently fallen in love with IT Cosmetics by Pores powder. So I still love my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Air Finish, whatever it's called, powder. However, and I do carry that around everywhere with me. However, I've been loving this for pores because I genuinely feel like it minimizes pores. So if you are that person that needs minimization of pores, this is the powder for you. Again, I don't feel guilty promoting stuff like this because Lisa doesn't have her own. So until she does. So the only annoying thing is the powder puff because it's tiny. However, you can just go in with a clean brush and just gently wipe away any excess powder. That's one side of the face. I don't know if you can tell, but when I look at the mirror like up close, everything just looks really blurred and flawless. If you want to add some jazz back into your life, and by jazz I mean a little bit of glow, you can obviously use the Lisa Eldridge liquid highlighter in, well, I use Pink Moon, which I absolutely love, or you could just use her mist. So I'm going to just use her mist. You might be like, what's the point, you just powdered your face. In Singapore weather, this is absolutely fine because trust me, at some point I will become oily. The second I step out the door, my hair will become frizzy, my face will become oily. Just for the sake of this video, and I'm staying indoors today, and if you're in the UK or Europe, somewhere that's not constantly humid and hot, then this is a nice little last step to do for your face. Just helps to mesh everything together, especially after you've used the powder. And by the way, with the skin tint, you don't necessarily need a powder. She says unless you've got like oilier skin type, then fair enough, you can use this powder. I personally like to use a powder even though I have dry skin, because I do have, although I'm predominantly dry, I do have slightly combination where I do get an oily T-zone like everybody else. And especially being in a hot country, I feel like it helps just sort of set everything together. Even when I wear the skin tint without the concealer and just set it with powder, it already gives this even more kind of flawless finished look than just using the skin tint. And honestly, it just helps to make everything look great and settle in. So I personally find using a powder helps. Sculpt and shade lip pencils. There are 10 shades, and what she's interestingly done is put them into categories, which she's not the first. I know that Anastasia Beverly Hills has done it. She's done 4 neutrals, 3 cool and 3 warm pencils, and they all have a number and a letter. The number is the shade, the letter is the undertone. So that the neutrals works as 0N, 1N, 2N, 3N. With the cool shades, it's 1C, 2C, 3C, and with the warm, it's 1W, 2W, 3W. So it kind of like is very obvious and makes absolute sense. As I swatch the shades, I would say the majority of shades are far too dark for me and won't work on me. However, you know, you have to bear in mind that these are supposed to be a universal collection for every single skin tone, every single person in this world. So it absolutely makes sense that she has shade range. And also, more importantly, although I say shades, Lisa mentions that it's not supposed to be like a lip color pencil in the traditional sense. It's supposed to be enhancing your lips and your skin tone, and that's why she's released it hand in hand with the skin tint. You basically can use it just to enhance and sculpt your lips. You can use it as a lip product in itself. You can use it as a base and then apply one of her lip products, or simply just go in with a lip balm and lip gloss afterwards just to enhance the color of the pencil within itself, if that makes sense. You can also use 1C, for example, as a lip pencil color, then use 2C to give a little bit more definition. So it's really up to you. All the pencils also come with an individual pencil sharpener, which is great. Because I bought the whole collection, I end up having 10 sharpeners, but I don't mind because, you know, after a while, sharpeners, no matter how much you clean them, they do get a little bit crusty. So it's always nice to have a fresh sharpener. And yes, I decided to get all 10 shades just because I wanted to ensure that I could swatch all of them for you. Because I know that Lisa does share, I believe she does share the natural light swatches, but on her website, I do find that it's not always accurate. And this is not just Lisa, I've said this before, it's with all brands. But even when Lisa does a video, correct me if I'm wrong, and please don't come at me because you know I'm a Lisa fan. But even when she does a video, I believe she does it in artificial light, because you can generally tell when there's that sort of like light in the center of their eyes and it looks like a ring light. I know a lot of brands do it. Even with the models, I feel like it's all studio lighting. Even if she hasn't used any filter or Photoshop, I'm not accusing her of that. It just looks like it's in studio lighting, and as you guys know, studio lighting isn't always the most accurate. So even when Lisa was doing her video and swatching the lip pencils, even though she was swatching the lighter shades, it looked very different to how it looks or how it will look on me. And you might be like, well, that's obvious because you're a different skin tone to her, you have a different undertone perhaps. Yes, but what I mean is it looks a lot lighter because of the studio lighting as opposed to natural light. In natural light, the colors are actually a little bit more darker. Now, the great thing is they are blendable. The great thing is they are workable. So you can really work with them to make them as natural and light as possible. You can blend it out with your finger. You can use as little or as much as you want of the product. So it's really up to you. The most important thing is, like Lisa says, once they set. So you work with it fast, you work with it whilst it's still blendable, because once it's set, it's harder to move, if that makes sense. The pencils also all have an anti-feathering formula. I won't be swatching all 10 shades, however, I have pre-swatched them for you so you can see them on the screen. No studio lighting, it's all natural lighting. You will see in its full glory on the back of my wrinkly hand. So you'll see all 10 shades. However, for the sake of this video, I wanted to at least wear one of the colors for you. So I've decided to go in with 1C. Now, when I think Lisa wore it, it looks very pale. It looks very peachy, very gorgeous. It looks really, really gorgeous on her. For me, I love the color, but it looks very different on me. So I used the point for the definition, and now I'm using the side as the actual lip color. It's super creamy, it doesn't drag. So as you can see, color is so nice, but it definitely looks very different to how it looked on Lisa. I really love this, but bear in mind, this is 1C, so this is the coolest, this is the lightest out of all the cool shades. Obviously, you're not necessarily, you know, it's not necessarily like you're supposed to wear it as a lip product, so you could just wear it as a lip sculpt, but they also are designed to be worn as a lip product should you wish to. So I like to wear it as a lipstick because I generally like my lipstick and my lip pencil to match up. Hence why I love Lisa Eldridge's pencils and her lipsticks, because they all come in the same color. But yeah, I really love this 1C color, and still feels really like soft. It feels really lightweight. Some lip pencils, especially when they're long wearing formulas and matte, they become they just feel very crunchy on the lips, and that's, I mean, it sounds weird, but it's not a good description. So what I tend to do is just go in with my Dior gloss. I love this gloss because it's so hydrating, just on the back of my hand, just a little bit, because I don't want it to be a super glossy lip look. And I just go into the center of my lip. I mean, you can obviously go in with the wand, but if you do that, you just dirty the wand with the lip product. So yeah, I just like to go the center of my lip, like so. So it just gives like a pretty gloss finish. This launch also came with a denim bag, which is another cute little bag that she has brought out. She normally brings out different makeup bags for different launches, and this is just one of them, and it's super cute, especially with spring summer. Denim is an absolute must. What are my final thoughts? I love the skin tint. I have been waiting for Lisa to bring out a skin tint ever since the days of her foundation launch. Although her foundation is great and I know loads of people love it and get on with it, I would say that if I was still a makeup artist, I would use it definitely on clients who have oilier skin types. I think it's beautiful for that skin type. I think anything towards the drier side, you definitely need a richer moisturizer or balm underneath to prep the skin. It's a good foundation, but you know, at the end of the day as well, I am somebody that just prefers a tinted moisturizer. You guys know that. You know that I love things with more of a glow and things that are more sheer to light coverage. So for me, the skin tint was really needed, and I just love this skin tint. It's just quickly like been added into my makeup bag, which is a compliment. And you guys can see that it still looks super natural. I know I used Natasha Denona stuff, but you guys saw the coverage it gave me before I added anything else on top. So long wear wise, longevity wise, I have been, you know, in Singapore for over a month now, and I've been wearing it almost daily where I've been popping out. And with the minimum 30-degree heat, and by the way, we've had some stonking days where it's been like, the weather forecast is just casually like, yeah, it's 31 degrees, but feels like 39, you know, just casually dropping that in there. Even with that climate and that temperature, my makeup has lasted. It's stayed on, and I feel like that's because it's light. It's not a heavy makeup, so regardless of season, I think it will work, but especially for spring, summer, especially the summer, this is the perfect base. I absolutely love it. I can't give raver reviews on it than I am now, and I think it just perfectly pairs with like different makeup products. As you can see, the lip pencils, so I love the lip pencils as well. I know that Lisa created them to mimic sort of like natural lip tones in the color, and I understand that there are different lip tones, etc. And I love the lighter colors which I use as lip pencils. I think because I'm using them as lip pencils and the other ones are darker and there's a lot of browns, I am like, meh, but that's understandable because it was meant to be worn it was meant to be used as a lip sculpt rather than a lip product, if that makes sense. And she does have a huge range of lip products already, including lip pencils that I can use as lip colors. Does that make sense? Anyway, so it's a beautiful lip pencil. It really is. And I can't speak on the longevity because honestly speaking, every time I put it on, even though my lips don't feel dry, I just naturally am more of a balmy person for the day. So I will naturally put on a lip balm, a lip gloss on top. So obviously that inevitably means that it doesn't last as well. But on its own, I have no doubt that it will last well. I think I wore it one day on its own and it lasted a good several hours. But by the end of the day or end of the evening, I definitely needed to top up. I do remember that because I was eating, etc. But again, it's not that big a deal. And honestly, I love this because I know I mentioned the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencils earlier. That one is like, it's set. So if you want something that does not budge, the Anastasia Beverly Hills one is that. But I personally prefer something that is a little bit more hydrating, a little bit more lighter on the lips, doesn't set so that it feels so crunchy like I said earlier. So this gives you that breathability with the lips. Normally you guys know that I do a giveaway, and this occasion I didn't purchase products in advance just because I didn't know what my situation was going to be, when I was going to be in Singapore. I didn't even know how much the customs fee would be. So now that I'm in Singapore, I have to pay a customs fee for all Lisa Eldridge products, which for those of you who've been doing that until now, you're probably like, welcome to our world. So I just didn't get it on this occasion. Also with a skin tint and launches like this, where it's more personalized, I just didn't know what to get because obviously I don't know who's going to win. So there's no point me getting like all 18 shades of the skin tints and all 10 pencils because it's not going to work for all of you, and you're not going to need it. So what I decided instead, and maybe you guys can help me with this, is going forward for future Lisa Eldridge giveaways, because I don't want to stop it because I'm in Singapore. I had a thought to purchase gifts for you guys via the Lisa Eldridge website, where it's directly posted to where you are in the world. However, what that also inevitably means is that you're going to have to front the customs fee. So it's not the greatest and you will have to pay a fee. However, if it's any consolation, you're still getting free gifts. So let me know your thoughts down below. That's the only way that it would make sense to do it. Otherwise, I'd literally be purchasing stuff online. You would have to wait for it to ship to me. I'd be paying not only for the product, but the custom fee, then also to pay to ship it to you, which just in my mind doesn't make any sense at all. So in order to make this giveaway in the future viable, the only way I can technically do it is to send it to you directly, just that you will have to, you know, pay for the custom fee. Like I said, if you're lucky enough to live in somewhere like the UK, then obviously you won't need to, but I know that I have Lisa Eldridge followers and people from the community from all over the world, so let me know your thoughts down below. But I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said earlier, I'm so sorry that it's late. Well, better late than never, and I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know your thoughts on this launch. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this skin tint, on the lip pencils, and also what you would like to see from her next launches. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Take care.